Welcome to this demo of SendBlue, which is the first ever iMessage solution for businesses and for sales teams. And to kick things off, I want to show you why this even matters. Why is it that there's such this big buzz in the industry for sending out blue text messages instead of green SMSs? And to do that, I've pulled up some data. This is data that we track across our internal sales team, across thousands of conversations and leads that opt in per week. And the data is pretty consistent across everyone that we work with. When you send iMessages, you will always see 2 to 3 times the amount of responses as when you send green SMSs. We could see it right here. When we're sending out these blue iMessages, we're consistently seeing 83%, 82%, 84% response rates. But when we're sending green SMSs, we're only getting 25%, 19%. 32% response rates. These are the exact same messages being sent out to the same exact leads at the same exact time, but when you send them as blue iMessages, they feel more trusted than when you send spammy green SMSs. So if your business right now is looking to have better conversations with your leads and to convert more leads or to make sure that more leads show up to your appointments or your demos or your webinars, and ultimately you want to close more deals, keep watching. So the way that SendBlue was built is all around conversations and contacts. So on the left-hand side here, we have a conversations panel that we could click on. And when we do, we're greeted with this shared inbox of leads and of conversations. So I could see all of my active conversations on the left side here, and I could pick one right here, which I'm going to start with John Parker. If ever you wanted to start a new conversation, you have the option to do that by clicking this plus button here, clicking a new conversation, entering the person's first name, last name, and phone number, and it will initiate this new panel for you. On a lead or on a conversation, you always have access to the conversation history. So right here, I could see that I've already texted John. I could see this whole conversation history. I see that we've talked a couple of times. And if I wanted to send a new message here, all I have to do is type it and say something like, "Hey, John," and click on send. What I'll also be doing is I'll be pulling up John's phone here on the right-hand side so that you could see how these texts are delivered to our lead's phone. So when I send out these texts are going to be sent out as blue iMessages, as you see on the right side, which is my lead's phone. And this is the whole purpose around why we are using SendBlue. So we actually just saw that message on the phone right there, and it showed up as a blue iMessage. You'll also notice that if my lead responds to that text, I will get that right back into SendBlue. So you have that full tracking history back and forth in one centralized inbox, which is the one right here. There are also so many other things that you could do when texting your lead. You could send things like voice messages to your lead. "Hey, what's up, John? Just confirm that you're receiving this," like I just did right there. I send that off, and in a couple of seconds, you'll notice that these are actually going to show up as native voice messages on my lead's phone. While we wait for that to be sent, I'm also going to show you attachments. So what we could do in SendBlue is we could also add PDFs, images, and videos, which will all show up as high resolution media on our lead's phone, which just helps so much if you want to get a point across. So let's say I wanted to send here a video that I've pre-recorded. I'm going to go select it in my files. And this is just an introduction video that I'm sending to my lead. We'll wait for it to load, and I'm going to send that off in a couple of seconds. And as you see actually on the lead's phone, we received that voice message. So while I'm sending this video, we'll just take a look at this voice message. You could see that this was clearly a native voice message that was sent to my lead. And we also could see that the video has now been sent and is being processed by the system. So as you just saw, we just received that video. Another thing that you could see on the screen here is we actually got a confirmation that our voice message has been listened to, which is such a nice feature to know when your lead is on their phone and active so that you could double text them, triple text them, and get them to respond to you. Inside of our inbox, we also have the ability to send things like emojis. We have the ability to add some pre-written templates to our lead, like you just saw there. We also have the ability to send text effects with our messages. So this is something that I've covered in a couple of videos now that I'll put right up on the screen here, being some of the hottest SMS marketing trends that you'll be seeing in 2026. You saw it right there. Look how cool that looks with those text text effects. Now, SendBlue also acts as a mini CRM. And what that means is you could add notes to your conversations. So if I wanted to write the next steps for myself and leave a note to my conversation that only I as a sales rep will see, I'm able to do that right here. And you also have so many other CRM functions. If we click this little panel on the top right here, where you'd be able to mention the people's emails, you'd be able to tag these conversations, maybe with a tag like, hey, they showed up to a demo, so I'm going to put demo showed. And you could also add a ton of custom variables. You know, if you wanted to know what their business was, you could add a field to enter here. Or if you wanted to have a link to their website, you'd also be able to put it right here. You'll also have the ability to filter through your conversations. You could do that by searching for specific contacts on the top left here. You'd be able to check out the conversations that each one of your users in the account are assigned to. So if I wanted to see all of the conversations for Aaron here, I'd be able to filter through that. What I'm also able to do is check out all of my conversations that have an unread message that I should now answer to, and so many other filtering options as you could see around here, you know, filtering per tags, filtering for completed conversations, and even at the top here, pinning conversations to my inbox if they are very high priority. Also, something that I want to mention is that with SendBlue, you get access to unlimited texting and unlimited calling once you've initiated a conversation with your lead. So in this example here, let's say I'm texting John, I'll be able to text John with as many follow-ups as I want indefinitely for free while using SendBlue. So I could send as many texts, as many voice messages, as many videos, and place as many phone calls as I want. And this is all free, which is quite different from what you normally see with SMS and Twilio that is always going to charge you per text sent or per amount of characters and stuff like that. So I pulled up the phone once again, the lead's phone. I'm also just going to show you the phone calling function. So as you see right here, I'm receiving a call. I'm able to answer that call on the lead's phone, talk for a couple of seconds. And as we'll see in SendBlue, you get that full history of your phone calls. Yes, they picked up. You're able to mark that. But most importantly, in a couple of seconds here, we're actually going to see that we're able to get a transcript of the call, which just popped up right here. Now, if you are already using a CRM, chances are SendBlue is integrated with it. If you wanted to keep your conversation history and keep your sales team in your CRM, such as GoHighLevel, HubSpot, Salesforce, Monday.com, Follow Up Boss, or any other CRM that exists, SendBlue will allow you to do that. I'll just give you an example of what this could look like, let's say in Close CRM. In Close CRM, we are integrated, which means that on any contact, you can click on this little widget that you'll be able to download with your CRM, and you'll have a SendBlue iPhone widget that pops up on which you'd be able to do exactly what we just saw, which is sending messages, sending voice messages, sending files. And you'll also notice that all of that conversation history will always be tracked right back into the CRM. Same exact thing for GoHighLevel here. We once again have this widget that you could utilize to send out these texts, or you could even do this natively in GoHighLevel. As we see right here, we have this iMessage panel on which we could type and send those messages out. Now, chances are you're probably looking to automate a big portion of your conversations, and SendBlue gives you the ability to do that via the workflow panel on the left-hand side here. Your workflow panel will be able to create workflows either from scratch or using a template, which I'm going to show you as an example here. And you already have some templates that you could utilize, such as the one that we'll be checking out, which is an appointment reminder workflow. So when you hop into the workflow builder, you'll notice that this is pretty similar to any other workflow builder that you're probably used to, like Zapier, Make.com, even GoHighLevel automations, in which you'd be able to trigger an event. In this case here, it's when someone enrolled to our CRM, so a lead potentially saw one of our ads. We want to start sending them out text to show up, let's say to an appointment, to a demo, or to a webinar. You see that we have so many options in terms of what we can actually do in our workflow. We have all of these messages. You could either send iMessages, send group iMessages if you wanted to introduce your lead to a setter and a closer in a grouped iMessage. You could also have these waiting steps, so waiting for your lead to reply, delaying a text until a certain time, and so many others, as you could see on the screen here. You'll notice that you could build quite some logic with these workflows, as we could see right here. And I'm just going to hop into a couple of the steps here to show you some other things that are really quite neat with this automation builder in SendBlue. So as an example here, we're able to send these messages and send iMessages through our workflows. What we can notice is that we could send plain text. We could also delay our text so we could double text our lead, which just is so much more credible and seems so much more human to our lead if we're sending two texts rather than this one large text that SMS has trained us to do for some reason. But we could also send things like media in our workflows. If you wanted to pre-record a video of yourself to potentially introduce yourself to your lead, or share a short VSL via iMessage like we were able to do right here, you'd be able to pre-write these or pre-record these, and add these to your workflows. You can also do the exact same thing with voice messages. So you'd be able to pre-record your voice messages and add them to your workflow, and your lead probably wouldn't be able to tell the difference between an automation sending them the voice message or you sending them the voice message in real time. Now, to see the performance of your iMessage and SMS marketing campaigns, we have the reporting tab and the analytics tab on the left-hand side here. This is exactly what I showed you at the beginning of this call. You'll be able to track your reply rate across your users, as you can see here, across, the week, the month, or the year, and you'll even be able to isolate your response rate for iMessage versus SMS, as we could see right here. You'll also have the ability to view tons of other data of, your conversations and number of contacts that you've been texting this week, or the number of connected calls, how much time it takes for these people and these leads to respond to your text, and tons of other data, as you could see up on the screen here. And finally, in your settings, this is where you'll be able to manage your users, manage the permission of your users, but also most importantly, manage your phone lines, seeing how many conversations were initiated per day, how many phone lines are assigned to you, as you can see at the bottom here, and really just keeping track of your account health. So that is it for the demonstration of SendBlue. If you want to start sending iMessages in your business and in your CRM of choice, just check out the link that I've tagged in the description section or in the comment section of this video. Add your phone number, add your name. We'll be able to actually text you a demo of this tool, and you can interact with it back and forth to see how it works and see how our workflow performs. And if you think it's a human or is it a robot that's texting you, you'll see. Thanks for watching, and yeah, I'll see you there.